Hello friends and followers, welcome back to Phoenix Studios. I'm Phoenix. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and do yourself a favor and click the subscribe button. Stay up to date on future exciting projects, as well as drawing tutorials and even prize giveaways. If you have seen some of the previous videos, you'll be familiar with this outline. I did this outline once in realism style using oil paints. Then I did a second session where I used acrylics and did more of an abstract style. Then in my last video, I did some artwork which is commonly referred to as trash art, involving spray paint and doing like a space scene using planets. And so with this project, what I wanted to do is use acrylics once again and do a realism style on the portrait. And then I wanted to combine that fine art with some of the trash art and basically transition her hair into space. So that was the direction that I went with this project. So first I mixed up some browns. I used, for the dark brown, I used some burnt sienna and some primary blue. And then I used just brown by itself. Then I combined that burnt sienna with crimson red. Then with lemon yellow to make the lightest brown, with a little bit of titanium white in it. And I basically just started laying in those darker values of brown on the darkest shadows. And then as it transitioned to the lighter areas, what I do is I just really try my best to eliminate those transitions. And where one hue meets the next, I just take my time there and blend it out. Here I'm using a clean dry brush and just coming in and trying to blend those transitions. My goal is just to eliminate any definitive line which may still be present and showing where this hue ends and the next hue begins. I'm just really trying to come in and just eliminate all those transitions and really soften the edges. Now on the palette, you'll see me just color mixing as I go. Each different piece needs a different hue, different value, so I just mix those up on the palette as I go. I took some of that lightest brown color and then I just added titanium white until I had the hue that I was desiring. Then I placed that on the canvas, and then once I've established that area where that value is going to be, then I come back in with my clean brush and I just soften those edges out and blend those into the next hue. Now on this portion, I'm just coming in and defining some of the areas around the nose more distinctly and laying in some of those lighter values before I come in and proceed to start adding the tones for the lips. And for this part, I mixed up some burnt sienna and some crimson red. Then I used a very light brown for the highlights. On the bottom of the jawline, I used more of that burnt sienna and crimson red, just a different hue. I changed up the values a bit. So here's where I begin to add the spray paint itself. I first cut out my planet templates and place those on, and then I just need a rough idea of where those planets are going to be so that I can begin to add the colors for the planets. Then once I do that, I use some magazine pages to add some effects to the planets, putting in my highlights and my shadows accordingly. Then I allow that to dry a bit, and then I start adding my background colors. For the stars, I sprayed some white paint on my finger and then flick it onto the canvas, and I also have another star template that I used as well. Now I'm coming back in to better transition her hair into the space background, and I'm using acrylic paint once again and hand painting these areas to make those smoother transitions. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I look forward to our next session. Until then, it's your turn. Go create something.